Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us here. We've got Jaden Schwartz, new free agent signing here for the Seattle Kraken. Just really quickly wanted to remind everyone, please use the hand raise function if you want to ask a question. And if you're not actively asking a question, we just ask that you keep your line muted so that we can keep things as clear as possible. We'll go ahead and get things started with Ryan Clark.
Jaden, for starters, thank you so much for your time. Second, condolences on the passing of your father. I know you said on TSN that getting close to home for you is a priority. What was it that made Seattle stand out compared to somewhere maybe like Calgary or Edmonton, which is a little bit closer to home?
Yeah, I think just Seattle right from the get-go, there was mutual interest, both from them and me. My parents actually lived in Seattle for a year. Little under a year, maybe. My sister did a chemotherapy there, a cord blood transplant. So I was able to go out there and see the city, and I really liked it. I thought it was very nice, and the people that we met were great. We had a lot of people helping us through a hard time, and yeah, there was just a lot of mutual interest, and I think just the whole expansion team in a new city with a lot of buzz and a lot of people being super excited about it. So I think you look at Vegas and how that city is really taken off in the hockey world and how exciting it is in that city. And, that made me think about Seattle a lot and the opportunity of playing for a new franchise. Not a lot of people get to do that. So I'm super excited to join them. And yeah, I knew right away that was a place that I was going to look at, and I'm really happy that it got done.
Jeff Baker.
Congratulations on your deal. There were some reports in the last 24 hours or so that you were going to wait and see what Seattle did first in free agency before making a final decision on signing. I'm just wondering how much of an idea you had ahead of time about some of the moves they were planning here today. Obviously, they went out and got a new goalie for you, but I'm wondering how much you were aware of this in advance and what you were waiting to see.
I didn't know any. I wasn't aware of who they were interested in the expansion draft or free agency. So I wasn't let in on those details. So a lot of times, especially in free agency, there's a lot of things that can change pretty quickly. So you don't really know for sure what's going to happen. Things can change pretty quick.
I'm also wondering, you've been in the league a long time, but how much did your experience with the Blues in that Stanley Cup final run, how much do you think that changed you as a player? And what did it show you anything about yourself as a player that you maybe didn't know you were capable of beforehand?
Yeah, I mean, that was obviously a really special run we had, and a dream come true for me and the city of St. Louis. And, that's about as high as you can get in the hockey world. So obviously you learn a lot. I think even years before that, we had really good teams, and you kind of lose or you kind of learn a little bit when you don't win, and some of the struggles when you lose, you kind of learn from that too. So I feel like each season's different. You kind of take certain things with it. But obviously winning that championship was huge for me personally. And yeah, you can't really say enough about it, but I even think years before that, there was a lot too that, I've kept with me, and it's made me better as a player and a person.
Thank you.
Nick Kotsanika.
Hey, Jaden, I hate to, badger you with this, but just get the facts straight. Like, what are your parents' names? What did your dad have? When did he pass? When did he live in Seattle? Those types of facts, please.
Well, my mom lives in Regina now. My dad passed on November 9th from a sudden heart attack. It was out of nowhere. And my sister passed away a little over 10 years ago from cancer, but she did a cord blood transplant in Seattle. That was the best place we could go for it. So my parents moved there with her for a while she went through that. And then I was in college at that time playing hockey with my brother. So we'd come to Seattle a couple times and see them when we were able to get a break. My mom's name's Carol. My dad's name was Rick, brother Rowland, and my sister's name was Mandy.
How do you spell it? Carol with a C and your how do you spell it?
Carol.
Okay. Thank you.
Let's go Dennis Gorman.
Hey, Jaden. Two questions. Obviously, the Kraken are an expansion franchise. How much selling did Ron Francis and Dave Paxkel have to do for you in terms of selling the franchise to you?
Sorry, you're kind of breaking up there a little bit. I didn't quite get the full question.
Sorry about that. Obviously, with the Kraken being an expansion franchise, did Ron and Dave have to sell a franchise to you? Because obviously you're a guy with experience, and you probably could have gone to teams that, to different organizations.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you call it selling. They were just filling me in on some details and some things about the city and some things that they had in mind. But I mean, I kind of know the city of Seattle, and I know how much excitement there is there, and how much buzz there is around the city. So I kind of knew that. And they have such great ownership there, and Ronnie Francis has been in the hockey world for a long time. So you're familiar with a lot of those things, but definitely you listen and listen to some things they have to say about their plans going forward for sure.
And when they talked about their plans, what did they say? What did they say in terms of you? How they envisioned you fitting in?
They didn't really get specifics. Obviously, they're like I said, there was a lot of mutual interest, and obviously they've liked the career that I've had and the style of play I bring. I was obviously really interested in Seattle too. So I was kind of little bit of both, but they didn't really fill me in on like where you're going to play or different things like that.
Thank you, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Darren Brown.
Thanks, man. Hey, congratulations, Jaden, first of all, and welcome to Seattle. Curious about, how much you've looked into the roster that the Kraken are building, and if you have any thoughts on the players that they have in place currently who you're going to be joining. Yeah,
I really like their rosters. A lot of good players, a lot of good high hockey IQs. Sorry about that. Guys that like to play both sides of the ice, and they got a lot of deep defensemen, guys that can play in different roles. And I know a few guys personally, but not a whole lot. So I'm looking forward to meeting all of them. But I like a little bit of mix of some younger guys with a lot of upside, and some great veteran leadership too. So obviously the signing of some really good goalies helps too. But I'm a big fan, and I'm looking forward to getting down there.
And one thing I noticed is that it seems like there's a lot of value placed on guys who are sort of relentless and have a good work ethic on the ice. Do you think that fits your style of play? Do you fit in with that style?
Yeah, I like to think so. I definitely like to have a workers first mentality, and like playing with guys with good hockey sense who know how to play both sides of the ice. And I like to think that I suit that well, and I'm glad that they did too. And like I said, I like a lot of their players just from playing against them over the past 7-8 years. Some younger guys I haven't seen as much, but I've played against a lot of these guys for a while.
Great, thank you.
Andy Ide.
Hey, Jaden, welcome to Seattle. Obviously, joining an expansion team, you're going to be playing with a bunch of guys who haven't played as a unit before. What do you think is the key to building that chemistry? Is that something that you just got to use training camp for, or how quickly do you think that can generate?
I'd like to think it would happen quick. I know everyone's going to a new city and a new team. It's exciting for everyone. You don't really know what to expect, but you don't really know a whole lot of people in the city either. So I think we're gonna get a chance to get to know each other well and bond together right away, just because we're all in the same position. And I think that's a good thing. I'm sure guys will get there a little bit before training camp to get settled and kind of hit the ground running. But I'm sure everyone's the same as me, and anxious and excited and a little bit nervous, but I think that's a good thing.
Bob Condor.
Hey, Jaden, Bob Condor from the Kraken. Welcome. Look forward to seeing you in person soon. Could you talk a little bit more about your style of play and what you think, maybe how that's even transformed a little bit over the years? And then, if you don't mind, a quick look at Vince Dunn, obviously a teammate of yours from recent past.
Yeah, Dunner's a great defenseman. He's a guy that kind of ran our power play a lot. He's on the first unit, a little bit of the second unit, so he's got good hockey sense. He can see the ice well, and he plays hard too. He digs in defensively, and he's physical when he needs to be. He's a good skater. Dunner's got a lot of upside to him for sure. So I was talking a little bit. I know he's excited to get down there. My game it's not too flashy, but since I was young, I just tried to have a work first mentality, play a good two-way game. Be good for my line mates to do the little things, whether it's going to the net or being the first guy back on the back check, and definitely I've had this past year was, like I said, it was a little bit tough on me, so my numbers weren't as good, but I just like playing both sides of the ice and trying to see the ice as well as I can, and I think speed and work ethic and just doing the little things would be the first thing that come to mind.
Thanks a lot.
Chris Daniels.
Hi, Jaden. Congratulations. I want to go back to what you said off the top. It sounds like you, because of your personal story, you have a little bit more familiarity with the city than perhaps some of your future teammates. Was that a factor in making this decision to come to Seattle? Just the idea that you had previous experience in the city, knew the city a little bit better than most?
I'm not sure exactly how much the other guys have been there, but I liked it right away. I thought with you got the water, you got the mountains, and it's just a beautiful city to visit. I liked it right away, and I thought it'd be a really, really cool place to play. Obviously, they're a big sports city with the other teams they have there, and their fan base is awesome. So there's a lot of things that jumped at me for sure, but having a little bit of familiarity with the city, definitely helped.
Erica Ayala.
Thank you. Hey, Jaden, I know that you told Bob a little bit about your game, your style of play. I was curious if you'd given any thought to maybe some things that you'd like to refine or get a fresh look at now that you'll be with a new team.
Yeah, I mean, there's always things to work on in the off season for sure. I think shooting's one thing that I always work on. Something I can continue to get better at is taking advantage of those grade A scoring chances you get, and trying to finish on a little bit more of those, and kind of always like just working on my speed and my strength a little bit. So a little bit of everything, but definitely shooting something I'm focusing on this summer.
Fantastic. And coming from the women's side of hockey, I'm very familiar with the legacy of your sister and obviously the work that your family has done with the Mandy Schwartz Foundation. Have you given any thought to if you'd like to be able to continue some of that work in Seattle and what that might look like?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to meeting the people in Seattle and seeing what I can do in the community, help out. So that's something I'm going to have to think about the next couple of months, but I'm really looking forward to getting out in the community and, supporting the people of Seattle and helping in any way I can. And, definitely the workers in the hospital and the families that have to go through, kids being sick is something that holds pretty close to my heart. So that's something that I'll look into.
Thanks, Jaden.
Time for two more here. Let's go to Ryan Clark.
Jaden, it was out there that, hey, this was going to be happening for quite some time. So when you kind of know what your future is looking like and you look at the Kraken, how much are you kind of paying attention to who else could be going there? And not only that, but I mean, how does this differ compared to where you're in St. Louis, where there's a roster already there? It's just a matter of adding a few more pieces. Whereas if now it's a little bit of a different dynamic because there's still some more to add, even though there are players already on the roster.
Yeah, it's just a new situation for everyone. So you just kind of, you just kind of roll with it. You don't really know what to expect, to be honest. Obviously, you're watching to see what Seattle does and who they pick up and certain guys in free agency. But like I said, nothing's really guaranteed. Things can change. So we're all keeping an eye on it. And I'm sure all of us are kind of have that anxious excitement for something new. But definitely been talking about with a couple guys in the team and, how we like the roster and how excited we are. So we're pretty pumped up.
Have you started recruiting anyone?
No, I haven't. I just found out that I was officially going to Seattle not long ago, so I haven't had quite the time to do that yet. But just all smiles over here right now for sure.
Time for one more here. Let's go, Derek Harper.
Hi, Jaden. Thanks for taking the time today. Are there any lessons specifically from that championship team that you're looking to maybe as a veteran leader bring to this squad and teach the younger players?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to help out, the young guys as much as I can. I know when I was in their shoes, I was always looking up to some veteran guys and, guys in different situations. But I think winning, like I said, was big for me as a player and as a person, and you learn so much. But you kind of learn from every situation. I feel like I like to be a bit of a sponge that way. In different playoff runs where we, lost, whether you're up in a series or down in the series, or there's always different things that you can pick up. But I'm looking forward to bring that experience along with a lot of other guys to help out the team and make us better going forward.
Thanks, Jaden. Appreciate your time, and thanks everyone. We'll get back to you as soon as we have more updates.
All right, thanks.
Thanks.